Your soon-to-be ex-in-laws just exposed your kids who are under 10 to some nasty stuff. Hey, it's Baltimore Steve Talks Before I Forget. Down below there might be a link for a free resource. Please be sure to click on that. Going back to the opening of the video itself, in-laws, man, if you're married and you have in-laws and you're in the process of getting divorced and you have young kiddos, in-laws oftentimes try to do the best they can do for your kids because after all, they're the grandparents and they are for life. And you may have a situation where your in-laws, well, in meaning to do right, maybe they did something that you consider to be not good that they expose your kids to. And the question is, how do you react? And guys, this is a tricky situation. There is no correct answer. And a lot of the factors that come into this are going to be dependent upon what your separation, mediation, divorce is looking like. Maybe your divorce has occurred after you're getting divorced. But just consider the factors of the entire situation. And if you do find yourself, dealing with that whole divorce reset protocol concept, where you got the clouds going on, you're not quite sure what to do, where you're at today as far as foundation building and future planning, how you're going to get there. And so how you react to the news that your ex-in-laws or soon-to-be ex-in-laws did something can influence a lot, meaning it can have long-term lasting effects. Do you take the high road? Do you take the low road? Do you tell your ex? Do you run to your lawyer if you're in a really hostile marriage? What about finances? Is there a chance that you end up having them pay for something and maybe money was involved? It all depends on the situation. The reason I'm not being specific on this is there are so many examples of things that can go wrong when your best intended in-laws, you try to support your kiddos and everything else, and especially if they're younger, like under 10, and it doesn't go right, you're going to have to do something, guys. Because you can't, you don't have to do it. You could sit back and say it is what it is. You could address your in-laws, you could talk to your soon-to-be ex, you might have to talk to your kiddos, and I'm going to take this to the nth degree. Depending upon what happened, you may need to be going to family psychiatry support network type thing. You may need family counseling. It all depends on what your kids are exposed to. Biggest thing here, guys, is try to keep an even keel, even level head. Why? Because emotions can bubble up, cause you to do things you might regret down the road. You don't really want to cause that, make it worse, because if you make it worse and make your divorce worse, it gets all complicated. So try to keep an even keel if it's possible. Granted, there's some things that happen where you're like, no. Do you have to call child protective services? Possibly. You have to call the cops? Possibly. It all depends on the scenario. And I'm not trying to be a jerk by throwing out these pretty radical examples, guy, but it's a world. And people have different hobbies going on. They have different focuses. They have different pressures and everything from cooking meth at home to reading a book about the birds and the bees of the kids to letting them drive their vehicle after having a couple cocktails. There's all these scenarios that can occur. And so, again, consider what's going on. Consider the factors before you do react. And more than likely, you're going to have to at least tell your ex about what happened or what the kids are reporting happened. And make sure your kids are safe. That's the biggest thing. So little information like this, guy, is just how you're acting and how you react to what you're told or what you see or what you observe. Make a big deal. So keep that in mind as you go forward. Hope this information is helpful. Hope you do well and talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.